Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg just unveiled free video calling on the social networking site through a partnership with Skype Technologies. Our Cris Valerio was at the event in Palo Alto, California. She's standing by with a special guest. Cris?
Hey, Mark, that's right. We're joined by Neil Stevens. He is the Vice President of Product and Marketing for Skype. Big announcement today. Thank you so much for joining us. So I guess the first thing I have to ask is, you were talking about how it took 18 months to come to this agreement, or since you at least saw the prototype. Talk us a little through that process.
Yeah, so we started off probably 18 months ago looking at how could we bring calling to Facebook from Skype. This thing's really hard to do. I mean, building a scalable technology that can scale globally to 700 million users is really difficult. And so we've been working on this for 18 months now. And it's really in the last 6 months that we've really got to the tight requirements of a really simple video window, building up the infrastructure in Skype to allow this to work.
There were two things that Mark Zuckerberg, CEO and co-founder, or I should say founder of Facebook, said. He said, number one is when the Microsoft announcement came through, it made him feel very secure about partnering with you guys. And the second thing he said was on the day of that announcement, Steve Ballmer and Tony Bates, the CEO of Skype, both came to talk to him. Talk to me a little bit about that kind of dance between the three companies.
This is a really strategic long-term deal between Skype and Facebook. This isn't just a one-shot, one-deal, implementation of a product. This is about a long-term relationship. We already started to do things in our own client to allow people to see their Facebook feed, to call their friends on Facebook. But to make a commitment like this, where we're building technology into the heart of Facebook, it's a big commitment from them, it's a big commitment from us. And so I think Steve really wanted to show Mark that we had the commitment of Microsoft, that this was a long-term thing that he was really supportive of.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that commitment from a monetary standpoint, because clearly it works for Facebook in building its scale and in building its apps and trying to monetize upon that. But how are you guys planning on making money off of this deal?
So our goal, we're still all about video. Our growth is all about video. We have today 170 million users. 50% of them are using video. We'll do 300 million minutes of video, and we're across a lot of devices. So our focus is how can we bring some more video services to Facebook users, some premium video services, but also PSTN services, calling out to landlines and mobiles. We have a commitment from Facebook, and we're working with them so we'll be able to enable real-time calling to landlines and mobiles through Skype out on Facebook.
Now, is any of this going to involve some kind of mobile component, so where they're using Skype on Facebook through mobile phones, and how is that going to work out with carriers?
So we're continuing to look at where that's going to go. I mean, right now, it's all about the Skype client and the Facebook client and making real-time work in there. We have our own strategy for mobile. We just launched our Android video application's gone really well. We have iPhone now with 50 million downloads.
But is that an area that you want to go into?
I mean, we're there. I mean, for us, it's about endpoints. The more endpoints we have, the more people can communicate. When people communicate, they don't want to think about which technology to choose. They just want to communicate, whether that's the web or mobile. So we'll continue to look at that.
So no specific money exchange at this point between the two companies?
Yeah, we're not going into a lot of commercial details at this point, but it's a really good business deal for Skype. There's a long-term relationship here, and we can definitely see how we monetize this business.
I want to talk just quickly about the reorganization that's happened at Skype and kind of your new responsibilities and how all that's going to play into the big strategy at Skype. How's it been?
So we've been through a lot of change. It's probably been quite public for many people. I now look after all the product and marketing for the company. I think we got ourselves in a position where we'd overcomplicated the business. We had 3 regions, we had 4 business units, and we're not even a billion-dollar business right now. And at the heart of it, we're a consumer company who builds great consumer products, and we have to focus on that. I think we do a great job for small and medium businesses, and I think that's our play. So we're really about streamlining decision-making and making it a really effective consumer product.
Can I ask you, when you're looking at small and medium businesses as really trying to monetize upon that, how does Facebook play into that, which is an extremely consumer product? I mean, is there an overlap there in enterprise?
I don't believe so. I think that's a play for Skype. The Skype client still has a life in all of this. People use Skype outside of the web experience. The great thing about the Skype app is it runs all day, even if you're not on the web. And so I think business users still don't think about Facebook for that type of communication. That's where we can play a really strong role.
You talked about scaling up the product to be able to accommodate the millions of users that Facebook has. How much do you see as increasing in the businesses? How much have you prepared your servers for?
Oh, we've had to do a lot. So we've typically run our network on the public internet. So we have these things called supernodes, which are basically machines on the internet that direct the traffic around and allow clients to communicate. With Facebook, we built a dedicated supernode network in-house.
How much did it cost you to do that?
So we're not disclosing that, but we needed to do it to give them the resiliency that they need and to guarantee the performances. We're going from 170 million to 700 million users here.
But needless to say, it was a big investment on your part.
It's a reasonable investment. It's something that we wanted to do anyway. We had the outages over the last 6 months, and part of that we were doing anyway. We want to bring more control into our own infrastructure to allow us to manage those outages in a much better way than when we're running on the internet.
Neil Stevens with Skype, the VP of Product and Marketing. Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it.
Appreciate
and
that.
Big news on the day, Mark. Certainly, to recap it again, Facebook partnering with Skype for video chat. And you heard it from the man himself. Back to you.
Cris Valerio, thank you so much.